Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you fragrances that I consider fresh that are great for the major hot heat. So these are fragrances that I have been gravitating towards actually because our summer has been so hot. So in the past I go for like super sweet all the time. Or a lot of times, like I'll pick something like Sophia by Sofia Vergara. You know I love those ones like that. And honestly, I find that one actually to be kind of fresh. So it works in the hot weather really well. But these are all fragrances that I feel are light. They're not overpowering. And when it gets super hot, like I do not want to end up feeling sick from a perfume. And this is the first summer that I can remember where I've put on a perfume and it's actually made me feel sick, whereas before it was never that hot. So I could wear like almost anything and I would never feel sick. But lately it's been really hot. And although I enjoy it, I want fragrances that are going to be refreshing. I still want to smell good, but I want something a little bit lighter. And so these are fragrances that I feel work for that. There's two that are a little bit heavier, but the rest of them are really quite light and just smell fresh. So I thought I'd share them with you. So before I do that, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that button. I would love for you to join the Weird and Wonderful family and yeah, be part of the community. Be a part of the community. Yeah. Oh, why do I have to do stuff like that? Without further ado, let's get into this. So the first one, I'm not going to talk about it long because I've talked about it quite a lot, is Dolce & Gabbana's Love is Love. For me, this is just a citrusy raspberry. It's juicy. It makes my mouth water when I smell it. This one I get decent longevity on it. So I wore it the other day. I oversprayed, like big time oversprayed, like a lot. And this one lasted well, but it never gets cloying because it's just too fresh and airy for that. So lots of citrus in here with the raspberry. There's a little bit of whipped cream accord in there that just kind of gives it a beautiful sweetness without it becoming heavy in any way. This reminds me kind of a sorbet, if that makes sense. And I just think it smells delicious. It smells zingy, but then with those raspberries, and then a little bit later you get a little hint of that whipped creamy aspect, but it stays pretty citrus and pretty linear. And I just think it's really pretty. So I have really been loving Love is Love. Now the next one, this one can get a little bit heavy for me if it's super duper hot, is Trois L'Impératrice by Dolce & Gabbana. This one smells like a watery fruit salad, like a watery melon, kiwi. I get a lot of that melon. I think there's rhubarb in this one as well, and a lot of musk. So I get this muskiness from this, but it's got that watery fruit component. So this one just smells, you know, it smells, I don't know, it just smells good. Like, I love this one. Definitely get that watermelon, definitely get the rhubarb. It just smells like really water infused fruit. And then with a good dose of musk. So this one is just really refreshing. You still get that fruit aspect, but it is, yeah, it's perfect for the hot weather. Sometimes if it's too hot, I find that the musk is a bit much for me in this one, but this one is really good and great for that heat. I think that's one thing I'm noticing, like as I look at all of these, quite a few of them have a fruit note in them, and I am not a huge Freshie fan, or haven't been in the past. So if it's got a little bit of fruit in it, then it's something that I really enjoy. Now the next two I'm going to share kind of together, and they are from the Elizabeth Arden green tea line, and I like these two better than, I've got Pear Blossom as well. Definitely prefer these two. So this one is green tea and nectarine blossom, and this is green tea pomegranate. Now this one has, I believe, peach and apricot in it, and it just smells clean, just with a slight, like, so you get that tea for sure. There's that tea aspect to it, more of a green tea rather than the black tea. I wish this was black tea, honestly, but you get that little bit of that tea vibe, so really clean, slightly green, and then you get kind of nectarine, apricot, peachy undertones to this. There's a bit of floral in this one with the nectarine blossom, but overall I'm getting more of that peach nectarine type vibe coupled with the green tea, and so I just think this one is super nice. It's very refreshing to me. This one doesn't last a long time. Neither does this one, but again, I just overspray, and I get a good 3-4 hours with it, so it lasts long enough, and I can always reapply. These are super affordable. Only get them if they are affordable. So I paid $6.99 for this one. I paid, I think, $14.99 for this one, and that would be kind of the max. I paid $20 for the 100 ml, and I regretted that because I wasn't as crazy about the peach or the pear blossom. But these two I really love. Now this one has pomegranate in it, but it also has raspberry. So I get, yeah, this one I think I like better than the nectarine blossom, but I still like this one. So I do smell the pomegranate in this one, but I get more raspberry than pomegranate. So I just really love this one. Again, you're getting that green tea DNA, but with just a bright, juicy kind of raspberry / pomegranate vibe. So that juicy red fruit vibe. So I really like this one. I like them both. I would say this one's more invigorating and this one's more relaxing somehow. So depending on my mood, I'll put one of these on, but I just really enjoy these green teas. Like I am happy with them. So these ones are definitely fresh. I never feel like they're cloying. Yeah, really glad I have them. Another one that's a little bit lighter, but I really enjoy is 4711 Aqua Colonia Lemon and Ginger. So this is very not long lasting. Like these ones last way longer than this one. But this one, oh yeah, I love that lemon and the ginger. The ginger, it doesn't smell super gingery. So not like some of my actual ginger fragrances. But there's just a bit of zingy quality, a little bit of depth that the ginger brings to the lemon. And this one is so invigorating and fresh. It definitely wouldn't get cloying. This is also a really nice one if you're wanting a extra burst of lemon to pair with something else. I think that this is a great one. This one, like I said, the longevity is really poor, but if you're wanting something that is just bright and juicy and citrus and invigorating, this is a great fragrance. I can see people liking this one for a gym fragrance too, because it's, again, so invigorating and energizing. Apparently some people feel like this one smells like Lemon Pledge. Like, I get that, but I've always liked Lemon Pledge. I wouldn't say it smells exactly like that, but of course it's got that bright lemon aspect, which you find in a lot of cleaning products. So I can see the comparison, but I just think this is super happy and revitalizing and works really great in the heat. Now, another one that I really enjoy when it's hot out is Amethyst by Lalique. This one's a lot less sweet than all the rest that I've mentioned. This one smells like fresh, some underripe and also ripe berries, like blackberries, black currants, that kind of fruit. Maybe some blueberry in there. There isn't blueberry in this, but there's strawberry, big strawberry, I think they call it. But currant, blackberry, black, that kind of stuff is what I get from this. Maybe a little bit of raspberry, but just those darker fruits that, you've got some underripe ones, some ripened ones, mixed with the stems and the leaves, just after a rain. That's kind of the vibe that I get from this. So there's a bit of green to this one, but it is just very, very, cooling, I guess would be the term that I would use for this one. And because it doesn't have any sugariness to it at all, Smells very natural, and because of that one, I find this one is just absolutely not cloying. This one also doesn't last long. I think really when you get a fresher fragrance, typically they don't last that long. But I get like about 5 hours with this one. This one, as it warms up on your skin, some people notice the bourbon vanilla comes out because there's bourbon vanilla in this one. I don't really notice that. I find it stays quite linear. I know I wore it one time and it was really hot, and I did get a little bit more sweet coming out, but overall I find this one to be kind of a very, almost a natural smelling fragrance. That is slightly watery, slightly green, and slightly fruity, but in the most natural way. So I really enjoy this one. Next one is Tom Ford's Eau de Soleil Blanc. This one is like typically considered beach, but honestly, it's very fresh. It certainly isn't cloying in any way. There's, I think, cardamom in here, but it comes across to me almost like a piney vibe mixed with a little bit of sunscreen and a little bit of coconut, but I get a lot of that cardamom pepper kind of vibe. Like it smells like balsam to me. And so I find this one actually quite fresh. This one, again, the longevity is not the greatest. But I definitely have never found this to be cloying. It's super refreshing and I love it. The last two that I'm going to mention are ones that are fresh, but they're also a bit more creamy, a bit more perfumey. So they're not like your typical citrus freshie or a green freshie. They've got a little bit more creaminess, a little bit more substance. And that is So Scandale by Jean Paul Gaultier. Now this one has raspberry, tuberose, and milk in it. The raspberry smells very, very fresh. So like not that it smells like an absolute fresh raspberry, but there's just a freshness, almost like a watery quality to the raspberry. It does smell like raspberry candy-esque, but somehow it smells fresher. So it's not cloying. Yeah, I just think it's really pretty. It's got the tuberose, which is like super kind of sweet, but somehow that raspberry really balances it out. And so I've worn this one in the major heat and it's absolutely beautiful. Not a problem at all. So this one's really nice. This one you get a little bit longer, like it's gonna last you 5 hours. But this one, if you're wanting more of a perfume fruity as opposed to super fresh, this one is going to give you the fresh vibe, not be cloying, but still, you know, has a little more substance to it. So the last one that I want to talk about is Donna, Trussardi Donna. Now, first of all, as I've said before, this bottle is to me just so gorgeous. The cap is phenomenal. I love everything about this perfume, and it would be honestly my favorite on the list. Probably because I like the Freshies, especially for the hot weather. But I like something with a little bit more substance, and this one gives it to me. So this one, in the opening there's fruit notes, lemon, and yuzu. Definitely get that bright kind of citrus, but it's not, there's a bit of tartness to it. Definitely notice that lemon. But because of there's a creamy, it smells like milky, like a curd, like a lemon curd, where there's a bit of milk in there. So yeah, as a result, it doesn't smell super sharp or bright. There's a warmth to it. It has jasmine, orange flower, and lotus in the mids. So I definitely get that floral. I notice more of that orange flower vibe as opposed to a jasmine. But it's just beautiful. And then the base has vanilla, sandalwood, patchouli, and cedar. And I definitely get a little hint of that woodiness, but with that vanilla, it just smells so good. It's not a gourmand, like it smells edible, but it's not a gourmand in the sense of something like Xerjoff's Lyra. where it smells like a lemon kind of smoky cake. You know, super gourmand, super thick vanilla fragrance. This one is way fresher. But there is a creamy quality, like a milky quality to the lemon that is reminiscent of a not overly sweet custard. There is sweetness to this, but yeah, definitely not cloying. That lemon just makes it beautiful. You could wear this all year round, but it's signature scent worthy for sure, because this one does not get cloying. Like, I've worn it in the heat. It's just beautiful. This one's really pretty long lasting. Like, I'm going to get about 7 to 8 hours out of this one. It really has decent longevity. So this is a great one, especially if you're not a huge fan of fresh, but you want something that's not cloying, smells good, but still feels fresh. Trussardi Donna is your best friend. Like, seriously, it is just delicious. And like, there's a bit of a mouth-watering quality to that lemon, but it's just so perfectly balanced with the florals and the vanilla and the woods. It's an outstanding fragrance, like seriously outstanding. So this one is fresh without being a freshie, if that makes sense. And that's it. Those are my, freshest kind of fragrances that I'm really enjoying in the midst of this major heat. It's definitely cooler than it was, but I'm imagining in August we're going to get a lot more of this hot weather. And so for me, these Freshies have been where I've been living. So what are your favorite Freshies? Because I never thought I would be into fresh fragrances, like things like this or even this. Like, yeah, I've always liked this, and I've always liked, the Eau de Soleil Blanc. But as far as like these ones, I never thought I would be into fragrances like these ones, and I literally can't put these down. I just love them. So yeah, that's where I'm at. What are your favorite fresh scents? I would love to know. Do you have some really amazing ones that you think I should check out? Please let me know. Also, in case you're wondering, like for those of you that follow me all the time, I was trying the Curly Girl method. I tried it for a month. I hated every minute of it. I know lots of people love it. I would get these awesome, like basically ringlets in my hair. I had to use a diffuser to make it happen. I plopped, I did all the stuff that you're supposed to do. If you've ever researched it, you know what I'm talking about. But in the end, the curls would fall out and I would be just left with kind of like a little hint of wave. I just thought it looked really messy. It looked kind of stringy. It didn't feel like me at all. I'm going to be cutting my hair. Like, I want to cut it to kind of that level is where I think I'm going to take it. So once I cut it, I may try it again, but overall, it wasn't for me. I like having my hair curled. I feel more put together. That's just me. So I probably will not continue on with the Curly Girl method. Plus, it was a freaking huge amount of work, like way more work than I thought. I thought, oh great, I'll go natural, it'll be easy. No, it wasn't. Not if you want to look good. It's not easy. And so I just felt raggy, and I felt so good once I finally curled my hair and moved on. So anyway, for those of you that have been following over the past few weeks where I've been doing Curly Girl and it's been kind of a ratty mess, I've given up. And other than that, have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.